our story begins, we find our two heroes, Crusader and Rags, returning home from their latest successful adventure, namely the apprehension of the sneaky snake of Leaky Lake, for which they received not only a recipe for making instant pizza, but a matched set of hand-woven, pre-shrunk Orlan tiger stripes, presented to Rags by the Raja of Rincewater. So let's join our adventurers as they relax in the comfort of their own private car.
Just think, Rags, we'll soon be home in Galahad Glen.
Yep, back with Garth Groundhog and all our old friends.
Wouldn't it be something if they met us at the station with a brass band?
I'd just as soon they met me with a stretcher. This power steering has got to go.
But alas, our comrades are in for an unhappy discovery, for around the bend lies Galahad Glen, and a rather rude reception.
Wow, things are sure upset around here.
I'll say, the town don't look the same.
Truer words were never spoken, for after getting their feet on the ground, they found that the once prosperous animal community of Galahad Glen was no longer Gala, and it looks as though it's really been had.
I don't understand. Where is everyone?
Garfield Groundhog! Garfield Groundhog!
Mrs. Possum! Mrs. Possum!
Raglan Tiger! Raglan Tiger!
What are you calling yourself for?
I just like the sound of the name.
Ah, Rags.
Who is this Easy Mooney?
Who indeed? For obviously it appears the mysterious Easy Mooney has taken Galahad Glen over lock, stock, and barrel. Further investigation only added to the quandary.
Shh. Anybody home?
Anybody home?
Anybody down there?
Anybody down there?
One thing is sure. The guy to see about this is named Easy Mooney.
You know, Rags, I think you're right. Yikes! I forgot all about our house.
Good heavens, my begonias.
And without further ado, our befuddled adventurers made a beeline, or rather a rabbit and tiger line, for their French provincial hollow oak tree home and Rags' prized begonia patch.
Gee, he's even taken over our house. Rags, this is the last straw.
You're darn right. Ruining my begonias is going too far.
It's time for a showdown with this guy, Mooney, right?
Right.
So saying, our determined comrades set off for nearby Lukupu Junction.
We'll show this Easy Mooney a thing or two.
Yeah. He can't treat my begonias that way.
But suppose we journey ahead and see what fate has in store. Uh-oh, can this be peaceful, old-fashioned Lukupu, where excitement came in the form of Saturday night haircuts and an occasional picnic? Where at the most tiddlywinks and checkers were considered games of chance? From the looks of things, Lukupu has caught a severe case of gambling fever. And who is this strange-looking pair? Could they be responsible for this shocking change? Take old Mr. McGillicuddy, for instance. He once dealt in groceries. He now deals in blackjack. Who's behind all this? The notorious Easy Mooney and his right-hand woman, Anita the Cheetah.
Like I always say, diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yes, sir. But only if you have 4 of them, and they're aces.
But what of our two heroes? What is their reaction to this unhappy discovery?
Offhand, I'd say we're in the wrong pew.
No, this is Lukupu, Rags, but it sure has changed.
It took our wee hero but a few moments to deduce that Lukupu Junction, like Galahad Glen, was completely controlled by Easy Mooney.
Only one thing to do.
You mean make a bet?
No. Find Easy Mooney and straighten this mess out. Now you take the high road, Rags, and I'll take the low road.
I'll be in Mooney's before you.
Ah, but Rags would not be quite so optimistic if he could look inside Easy Mooney's headquarters and see what skullduggery was cooking.
Dum, 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 ba-doo-doo. There, it's all set to go. Our latest invention, Easy Mooney's hydromatic cheating card table. Now all we need is a sucker.
And speak of the devil, Tiger, here he comes.
Howdy, stranger. Pull up your money belt and sit down.
Mooney's cordiality was somewhat unexpected, but not half as unnerving as the sight of Anita the Cheetah.
Wow. Whoever said cheetahs never prosper?
You keep your eyes on Anita, Tiger. I'll deal. Okay, what do you got?
Huh? Oh, yeah, 4 kings.
4 kings, eh? Huh? Oh, wait. Tough luck, Tiger.
Yeah, she sure is.
Unfortunately, Rags had his mind on everything but the game. When he held a flush, Easy held a straight flush. Poor Rags even held 4 aces, but wouldn't you know, Mooney drew 5. And so it went, until finally Crusader arrived upon the scene and in no uncertain terms demanded the return of Galahad Glen to its rightful owners and the unconditional departure of Easy Mooney from Lucapoo Junction.
No, you don't. I ain't leaving unless I get my original investment of $73.49 back.
Well, that seems fair.
And there's the matter of the IOU I just got from Tiger here.
Is that true, Rags?
That's what it says in the script.
Let me see. 3 goes into 9, carry the decimal. X is the known factor. Yes, sir, $420,000.
Yikes.
Is that what it says in the script?
You boys pay me $420,073.49 and I'll leave town. But I'm only giving you 48 hours to get it. And remember, nobody welches on Easy Mooney.
$420,000 plus $73.49. Added up any way you like, it still comes out a precarious situation.
If I give up jelly beans, that's 15 cents a week, $7.08 a year. In 56,000 years, I can't give up jelly beans.
The situation was all too clear to our little hero Crusader. They had troubles that only a cool $500,000 would cure. But a check of their total assets...
1 Missoula streetcar token, 1 pass to Barry's Knott's farm, and $51.16.
revealed they were just a wee bit short.
Maybe we could make some money on one of them quiz shows.
Yeah, but what would our category be?
Poverty, of course.
Further speculation was cut short by the earth-shaking arrival of their old pal, Garfield.
That farm, this is my lucky day.
You might as well take it all, Garf. There's not enough there to do us any good.
Well, Crusader and then, whatever were you doing down there? I've been prospecting for uranium. Oh, they're pretty. Smell nice, too.
Uranium, Rags, not geranium. Hey, did you find any, Garf?
Well, I don't rightly know.
Huh?
Trouble is, I don't know what uranium looks like.
I can imagine that might make it sort of different.
True, but then I don't know of an easier way to make $1 million.
$1 million, 2 mines with but a single thought.
Say, Garf, how about using a couple of partners on your uranium? Garf, I don't know. You fellas figure you can chew your way around underground like me?
Well, not exactly, but we can supply $51.16 worth of scientific equipment.
It's a deal.
Time was money, and so while Crusader worked out a table of organization, Rags and Garf set off to shop for supplies. But alas, even the best laid plans of tigers and groundhogs can often go astray. Those 2 unsavory characters coming up that same road certainly sound anything but reassuring. Stop the wagon, Billius. I smell cold cash. Exactly $51 and 16 cents. And so by the time Rags and Garfield rounded the bend in the road, Dudshade and Billius were ready and waiting.
All right, folks. Get Dr. Dudshade's dirty deck of cards.
Cheat your friends. It's lots of fun.
Say, aren't you Dudley Nightshade?
Egad, they're a couple of old victims. A lot of folks make that same mistake.
Especially the police.
Shut up, stupid. Doc Dudshade's the name. Nightly Q Dudshade. Now, how about my cards?
Yeah, how about them?
I mean, do you want to buy them?
Well, I'm sorry, Doc, but I'm afraid all our money is earmarked for uranium equipment.
Well, why didn't you say so? It just so happens that you've stumbled into the biggest uranium outfitter east of Yucca Flat. Now, I have here 100 shares of rock-bottom uranium unlimited limited, which I might be persuaded to sell.
Sorry, it isn't uranium stock we want. What we want is Geiger counters and stuff like that there.
But who wants to count Geigers when they can count profits? However, our friend stood firm, and so Dudley was forced to follow another tack. Excuse me. Now, let's see. I take one 1926 crystal set, add one beat-up alarm clock, and presto! Dr. Dudshade's high-speed, high-fidelity, and high-priced Geiger counter. And I'll also throw in this handy pad and pencil set.
What's that for?
Well, every time you count a Geiger, mark it down. Now, let's see. Yes. Last but not least, your gilt-edge stock machine.
Yeah?
Just turn the handle, and out comes the most deceptively official-looking uranium stock you can sell.
Swindle your friends. It's lots of fun.
Now then, that'll be exactly $51.16.
Yeah, what a coincidence. That's exactly all we've got.
Wouldn't you know, just as Dudshade pocketed their life savings, who should come up the road but our hero Crusader?
Yikes!
Hi, Crusader.
Rags, you ought to know better than to deal with a scoundrel like Dudley Nightshade.
You know, I mistook him for Dudley, too. This is Dr. Knightley Dudshade. He's been nice enough to supply everything we need, even stock certificates.
The situation was all too clear to our tiny comrade, but there was little he could do now, unless... Suddenly a plan began to form in his small but fertile noggin. But can he possibly act in time to recover their hard-earned savings?
Hey, that gives me an idea.
Uh-oh, I think that meddlesome rabbit smells a rat. My, closing time already.
You certainly keep stirring droppers, Valley.
Oh, well, we got everything we need.
Nice going, boys. You know, I was afraid you might have given him some stock in our company.
Oh, we're pretty shrewd traders, we are.
And you're sure you didn't let him in on our big secret?
Huh? We didn't even let each other in on it.
Good work, gang.
Sure enough, Crusader's words had indeed reached their mark. Big secret? Why, I'll bet they already know where there's some uranium. And you almost let them get away. Now then, Rags, you wanted us to invest in your little project?
I did.
Well, of course, Bilious, it is customary for us outfitters to show our good faith by putting up some of the money.
It is, but
All right, son, you talked me into it. Tell you what, boys, I'll give you just $1 for 51% of that stock. But Crusader held out for a somewhat better offer. Oh, all right. $51 for 1% of the stock. It seemed the only way to recover their savings, and so the deal was closed.
You want to sign it, Mr. Treasurer?
So very well. Signed, Raglan T. Tiger.
And so while Doc Dudshade pocketed his stock and his pride, the three prospectors headed off on the first leg of their great uranium hunt. Indeed, their enthusiasm might be somewhat tempered could they but hear the gloating going on in Dudshade's wagon. We'll soon be rich.
On that one share of stock, boss?
But you see, Bilious, it's more than just one share. It's also one piece of carbon paper, plus one recently signed insurance policy.
The Fly-By-Night Insurance Company will gladly pay the holder of this policy $100,000 in the event of an accidental death of the undersigned. And it's signed, Raglan T. Tiger.
Now, all we have to do is to hurry to the scene of the accident.
Accident? Where's the accident?
I haven't decided yet, but something tells me that Tiger is heading straight for one. And with that ominous prediction, Dudshade shifted his versatile wagon into overdrive and set out after our three adventurous friends.
Steady on now, boss. And you're heading right into the Badlands.
Good. We can get away with anything in that rugged country. Sure enough, for a moment later, Dudshade had swooped ahead of our prospecting trio and sent his well-equipped henchman Bilious drifting earthward with orders to waylay that tiger at any cost.
Now, let's see. Foul D. B. Brazen Inkwell. C, crackers in bed? Hardly. D, drops in drink. But of course, just a ting.
And no matter what the foul deed, you can bet Dud Shade's bag of dirty tricks had all the equipment.
Ah, there we are. One portable roadside stand.
Lo, one had but to press the button, and they were in business. And it wasn't so long before the first dry customers arrived.
So shall we?
By all means, that.
Drink up, boys. I'm buying.
Hot dog. I hope they have sarsaparilla.
However, the cleverly disguised Bilious was counting on Rags' notoriously exotic taste, especially when somebody else was buying.
Try our Rest and Peach Special. An experience you'll remember as long as you live. That sounds good. Give me one of them.
Actually, the recipe was quite simple. 3 ounces of knockout drops, a squirt of hemlock, fill with arsenic, and add 1 large scoop of rattlesnake venom sherbet.
Hey, that looks great. I'd rather your next of kin, your friend, paid for it before you drank it.
But the precaution was unnecessary, for Bilious had failed to reckon with Rags' ironclad constitution.
Well, how was it?
Not bad at all. A little weak, perhaps.
Bilious was indeed taken aback. But not, it seemed, without an alternate plan of action.
You boys better fill up on gas. There ain't another pump for miles.
And so, while our friends settled themselves once more for the journey, Bilious set about filling their gas tank, not with gasoline, but with highly explosive nitroglycerin.
Huh. One good bump, and it's curtains for the 3 of them.
And leaving nothing to chance, Bilious has even arranged for those bumps up ahead. And so, we find our 3 uranium prospectors heading off straight for that deadly detour. Can this be the end for these stalwart creatures, these hardened adventurers who...
Hold it.
Oh, no. Don't tell me.
Yep, time for my nap.
Oh, gee, Rags. Do we have to stop now?
Fortunately, however, Crusader's words fell on deaf ears, for Rags, a strong creature of habit, was already fast asleep. And so, instead of taking that detour to eternity, our pals pulled off the road and settled down for their midday
Bilious
siesta.
has certainly waylaid that muscle-bound feline by now. Reckon I'll go pick up the $100,000 remainder.
So saying, he donned his black leather jacket with the vulture on the back and set off in search of his triggerman. Nor had he far to look.
Well, Bilious, where's the body?
He went that away.
What? You let him get away?
Not exactly. You see...
Never mind the excuses, stupid. Just fill my tank. I'll take care of that overgrown house cat myself.
But, boss...
Well, just don't stand there. Give me that hose. Looks like I gotta do everything for myself.
I wouldn't do that.
The warning went unheard as Dud Shade sped off in hot pursuit. And this time, Bilious's detour served its foul purpose to perfection. What's more, a jalopy full of nitroglycerin was hardly a choice spot to land.
What was that?
Gosh, we must have hit a 10-ton diesel head-on.
Only one beauty sleep remained undisturbed.
I just don't see how they did it.
If you think I'm telling them, you're crazy. If I'd known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have fixed that dent in the fender.
Well, anyway, that sure solves one thing.
What's that?
All our parking problems.
True, but there is another problem.
I'll finish off that horse-sized house cat yet.
But, boss, we already blew up the car. Can't that be our bad deed for the day?
Look, stupid. The sooner that tiger bites the dust, the sooner we collect this $100,000 insurance.
And thus, while the 2 scallywags moved in for the kill, our 3 innocents turned their attention to uranium.
Well, as we're stuck. We might as well start prospecting.
Unfortunately, it would take some mighty high-class prospecting just to find the remains of their prospecting equipment, let alone put it in working order. Luckily, their somewhat battered handbook offered a practical suggestion.
Rule number 1, always collect ample ore samples.
I'll collect both amples and samples.
So saying, the ambitious groundhog wasted little time getting to his task.
Well,
Well, now where's the sample ore?
that's all gone.
What?
But it was delicious while it lasted.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Garth. Get back down there
I say.
and try to curb your appetite.
Sure enough, this time Garth dredged up not only ore samples, but some fascinating relics as well.
Let's see. 1 poker chip from Harold's Club, 1 fishing worm, 1 Alf Landon button, 1 pair of false teeth. Size 44.
Huh? Oops, sorry, those belong to me.
Absorbed with their prospecting, our friends, of course, had no inkling what danger was approaching from above.
One well-placed boulder will just about do the trick. Give me a hand with this rock, Bilious.
And thus the two troublemakers set about edging the giant stone toward the cliff's edge. Uh-oh, even Rag's marble noggin couldn't withstand a hunk of mountain that size. And sure enough, it's heading straight for our happy-go-lucky pal.
Look out!
Yikes! Where did that come from?
But what appeared to be a boulder was actually something quite different.
What? It's a giant egg.
Huh? Why, I didn't know giants laid eggs. Hey, Ragsy, old pal, are you all right?
Sure, I'm okay. If someone can just find the fuse box.
Looks to me like you're up to your neck in trouble.
Don't tell me our main picture tube is gone on a blink.
However, the problem was now to free Rags from his predicament. So, with the aid of a nearby tree and a pair of inner tubes from their demolished jalopy, the tiger's release was effected.
I don't see why we have to go in for so much of this slapstick comedy.
But Rags, you had an egg on your head.
I still do.
I wonder if there's anybody inside.
I can't see. I guess there's only one way to find out.
How?
Why, we'll hatch it, of course.
I'm afraid I'm a little small for a big job like that.
Yeah, me too.
Now, just a darn minute. I'm supposed to be the carefree bachelor type, not a foundling egg's mother.
But despite Rags's protests, he soon found himself nesting atop the king-sized cackle fruit.
I want it understood. I'm putting him, or her, or it, up for adoption right away.
Well, let's leave Rags and his problem for the moment and see what those two foul balls on top of the hill are up to.
Gee, boss, what do we do now?
Shut up, stupid. I gotta think. But we'll get that tiger yet.
Meanwhile, below, all hands have pitched in to make ready for the new arrival.
Hey, easy when you don't know what you're knitting for.
Elmer, Elsie, Elvis. Hey, how about the name Elvis?
Sounds fine, but supposing it's a boy.
How about Seymour, then?
Seymour. Yeah, fine.
I'm still wondering what he'll be when he's hatched.
The answer, it seemed, might come sooner than expected.
Junior! Whoa!
As the giant shell began to break open, all eyes widened in amazement. Rags and Garp on the threshold of a momentous occasion. For what started out as a simple uranium hunt has mushroomed into quite an omelet. And as luck would have it, Rags was immediately drafted into incubator duty. Nevertheless, when we closed last time, a somewhat disgruntled Rags was about to become a mother, or at least to hatch out that oversized egg. Nor had he long to wait. Almost immediately, the giant shell began to crack, revealing a most unexpected sight.
Hey, take it easy, my little, did I say little?
Indeed, our friend's shock was certainly understandable, for stepping gingerly out of the splintered shell was a truly formidable creature.
Yikes, what a voice.
Gosh, fellas, what have I done? What is it?
A quick check of Who's Zoo brought the startling answer.
Let's see. Oh, here it is. Wait, it's a dinosaur.
It sure don't look like her.
Gosh, he's so noisy. Sounds like a 1908 epic.
Yeah, but what'd he say?
I don't know. Sounds like he's making a rain change.
Well, as his foster mother, it's another kind of a change I'm worried about.
Meanwhile, on the cliff above, the two partners in crime, Dud Shade and Bilious, stared in amazement.
I tell you, boss, this is going too far for even a cartoon. What is that thing that came out of that egg?
A dinosaur, stupid. A plain, old, ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill dinosaur.
Ah, but Dud Shade's opinion was subject to change. For that so-called ordinary dinosaur was soon happily engaged in showering under a nearby waterfall.
Good grief, it even sings.
And what a voice. Think of it, Bilious. The world's only singing dinosaur.
At that moment, Crusader had also made an important discovery.
According to Who's Zoo, Junior has been extinct for 100 million years.
Well, he smells all right to me.
Yeah, you mean he's been waiting all that time to be hatched?
No wonder he's hungry.
Huh? Yikes.
Junior, stop that!
Too late. In one gulp, the new arrival had consumed their 30-day ration of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Golly, we gotta get to a supermarket right away.
And so, without further ado, the strange foursome set off in search of groceries. Meanwhile, Dudley was busy figuring out how they might turn this latest development to their own evil ends.
I can see it all now. Dud's dinosaur sings at the Hollywood Bowl. Why, think of the spectacular we could do from the La Brea tar pits. Bilious, we'll make a fortune. All we gotta do is get rid of those three. So what I want you to do, Bilious, is to get me that dinosaur.
But, boss, I thought you wanted me to finish off that tiger so's we could collect his life insurance.
That's small potatoes now. A singing dinosaur can make us millions.
Dud Shade will have to act fast, for our three friends have disappeared down the road ahead, hurrying in search of food for their very hungry new offspring. Indeed, although he picked up snacks all along the way, they didn't seem to curb his appetite one bit.
I wish he'd stop looking at us like we were appetizers.
Gee, our worries are over, Garth. Look.
George's Gorge. All you can eat, $1.25.
Hold it, Junior. Oh, a dinosaur can't just walk into a restaurant nowadays.
He's right, Sonny. It might cause quite a scene.
I'm afraid you'll have to wear some sort of a disguise, Junior.
Fortunately, Rags, a seasoned trooper, carried his Hollywood makeup kit with him at all times.
Well, here's something I wore in that great film epic, The Halfback of Notre Dame.
Hardly.
How about this beard I used in that shaving commercial on TV?
I'll try it on. Hey, that's not bad. Hey!
Apparently, Junior's diet included beards. And so they were finally forced to settle for an unimaginative 10-gallon hat and coat.
Well, howdy, Hoppy. Looks more like hippie to me.
At any rate, Poppy or Hippie, George soon found himself facing 4 eager customers.
What we miss out here in volume, we sure make up for in variety. What'll it be, boys?
He'll take a dozen helpings.
A dozen helpings of what?
Why, everything, of course.
It did seem like a big order, but no matter how fast he was served, Junior managed to keep pace. And naturally, the more he ate, the bigger and hungrier he grew.
Now I know I'm in the wrong business. I quit.
Diner for sale. Why, this plays right into our hands, Bilious.
Sure enough, it didn't take long to close the deal. In a matter of minutes, George's Gorge had become Dudshade's Diner.
Now to cook 3 gooses, my own special way.
They'll be needing more food any minute, boss. And we'll be needing some, too.
Apparently, Dudshade already had the next course all spiced up and ready to serve.
Red hot tamales? I don't see what good they'll do.
Just let me handle this, stupid.
So saying, Dudley flavored the lemonade pitcher.
Hey, Doc! You can't go out there. They're sure to recognize your vicious, leering face.
Uh-oh. He's right.
And this time, even Bilious, aided by a convenient can of spaghetti, showed his ingenuity.
There. They'll never recognize you now, boss.
Sure enough, the cleverly disguised Dudshade made little or no impression on his customers, but the same could not be said for his spicy dishes.
Good. Now for step number 2. Quick, Bilious, the lemonade.
Now I'm beginning to get the dirty picture.
1, 2, 3. I said 3.
They're delicious. Another round, please.
What?
Apparently nothing fazed those 2 powerful constitutions.
That tiger's got a cast iron stomach.
True, but he does have one weakness.
What's that, boss?
I never saw a cat yet who wasn't vain. And here's what we're going to do about it.
Some fast cement work on the patio outside, but some mighty fast talk inside as well.
Pardon me, but aren't you by any chance Rags, the world-famous tiger?
Yeah?
Rags, star of the Cat's Pajama Game?
He knows me.
My humble diner is truly honored by your illustrious presence.
Yeah, shucks.
And to commemorate this occasion, the management has voted to preserve your footprint in the cement of our celebrity courtyard.
Yeah, well now, just like Grumman's Chinese Theater.
Unfortunately, Rags had but to take the first step in order to become rather deeply involved.
I didn't expect to make such a big impression.
Not only big, but lasting.
Quite true, the quick-drying cement had already hardened, leaving Rags a prisoner.
Are we comfy?
Yeah, I don't know. Seems a little snug around the shoulders.
But think of the wear you'll get out of it.
That voice. I'd swear it belonged to old Doc Dudshade.
Matter of fact, it does. I'm just using it while he's got laryngitis.
What do we do with him now, boss?
I suggest we follow the advice of that great poetic masterpiece, Ding Dong Dell.
Ah, yes. Truly a moving piece of literature. Ding dong dell, pussy's down the well. Who put him in? Little Bilious Green.
Just think, Bilious, in no time, Dud's singing dinosaur will be at the Met. I wonder if he knows Aida.
Speaking of Aida, boss, Seymour's eating is right out of business.
You're right. We got to take his mind off of that food.
Obviously, brute strength was not the answer.
This looks like just a spot for my old magnetic ballast keeper.
Huh?
Step number 1, place the patient on a strict diet of nothing but iron.
In no time at all, the tricky Doc had whipped up quite a variety of heavy dishes, from nut and bolt cake to hacksaw blade pie to a crisp waffle iron, topped with iron tonic.
You toasted everything but the kitchen sink.
Say, not a bad idea, Bilious. Grind up the sink and we'll add that to the steel wool salad.
You expect him to eat all this junk?
That Stone Age disposal unit will eat anything.
Sure enough, Seymour attacked the new dishes with the same ravenous enthusiasm.
Okay, so his tummy's full of scrap iron. How's that going to get him out of here?
Dudshade was already searching his bag of dirty tricks for the one missing item that would make the whole scheme work.
Ah, here we are. My good old high-powered horseshoe magnet.
Does it work?
Just watch.
And thus, a short time later, the wily quack brought our prehistoric pal under his magnetic charm and made off up the road with him. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the well, Rags had a full-time job on his hands just holding his breath. But there might be one last chance if Rags could somehow pull himself up that rope to fresh air and safety.
Oh, no, not that old nibble bit.
Alas, it seemed the only way out, and so Rags was forced to cash in on his special talent acquired through years of spaghetti eating. Well done, Ragsy.
Thank you.
Sorry. Carry on. Yes, this time the hardy tiger withheld comment and thus made good his escape. Now to awaken his slumbering pals, a task it developed of major proportions.
Hey, fellas, wake up. Guess I'll just have to use strategy. Yeah, well, here it is, folks. The last of the ninth inning, bases loaded, 2 men out, and the Dodgers are sending in the pinch hitter, number 35. It's...
Who? Who is it?
I figured that'd get him.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Rags. What are you doing in that cement?
Itching to get out, that's what.
Yeah, Ragsy, what are you trying to do? Dress like a street?
Oh, didn't you know? I'm modeling for the Hod Carriers fashion show this afternoon.
Oh, Rags.
Gee, I think I caught a cold.
Gesundheit.
Just then, our tiny hero, ever on the alert, made a startling discovery.
Hey, fellas, the dinosaur. He's gone. Seymour's gone.
Yeah, he's wasted away from hunger, no doubt.
Yeah, say, I'll bet those 2 fellas took him. You know, that guy with the curly hair and his friend.
Hey, you're right, Rags. We've no time to lose. Let's go.
And so, without further ado, our 3 comrades speedily set off to the rescue. Luckily, the dragging dinosaur proved an easily followed trail, for both he and his tremendous appetite left a lasting impression wherever they passed.
They'll be a cinch to find.
But Crusader's optimism was premature, for up ahead, Dudshade had run into some undeserved good luck. Luck in the form of Fandango's free balloon, which hungry friend Dinosaur mistook for an oversized Florida grapefruit.
Wow, what do you know? We got ourselves our own private prehistoric blimp.
And thus our 3 heroes arrived on the scene.
Yikes!
Just in time to see their Stone Age offspring go floating high into the air, bearing his abductors with him. The situation seemed hopeless. That is, until our wee hero's nimble brain went into action.
I've got it.
Yeah, you have?
Sure.
So saying, Crusader dove headlong into their trusty junk trunk.
Let me see. A ticket for a short root beer, an aerial photograph of Gary, Indiana, a lock of Guy Kibbe's hair. Oh, here it is, a bottle of Burpo Fizzo.
Huh?
Well, don't you see? This is guaranteed to relieve gas on the stomach. Now, once Seymour takes this, he's sure to get back down to earth again.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, but there's just one other problem. How do we get it up there?
A good question. But our heroes aren't the only ones faced with a problem.
We gotta think of something, Bilious. Every time this Stone Age dirigible hiccups, we lose altitude. Throw something overboard.
Gee, boss, there ain't no ballast left.
Not quite, Bilious. Not quite.
Yes, as always, Dudshade was more than equal to the occasion. And in a matter of minutes, the deadliest weight of all, one bilious green was sent plummeting earthward.
Don't forget the right, boy.
Meanwhile, our three adventurers racked their brains for the means of transportation. Finally, by rummaging through his Hollywood makeup kit, Rags was sure he had the answer.
Hey, Rags, what are you doing with those silly-looking gloves on?
Yeah, these happen to be the wings I wore in that great film epic, The Flying Tigers versus Andy Hardy.
Wait, Rags! Wait, you can't fly with those things!
Too late, for Rags was air-minded, and the edge of the nearby cliff was perfect for takeoff purposes. And it was a shame, too, because the wings did fly, but unfortunately, Rags didn't. However, our tiny hero was undaunted, and recalling Ben Franklin's experiments with a kite gave him just the idea.
There. Now take the Burple Fizzle, Rags, and when you get up there, feed it to Junior.
Thus, a moment later, Rags and the Burple Fizzo were airborne.
Yeah, I always knew I'd get up in the world.
Ah, but Rags is in for a sad surprise. For in the gondola, and keenly aware of our tiger friend's mission, sits Doc Dudshade, obviously in the mood for cutting up.
One snip of these shears, and that flying tiger will be delivering bottles along the Milky Way. Oh, I'm so evil. I should have a show of my own. Bon voyage, tiger.
Golly, now Rags is stuck up there, too.
Gosh, maybe we'll never get him down.
Ah, don't worry, Garf. Something will turn up.
Something did. To be exact, a friendly gust of wind that carried the kite and Rags on top of Junior's back. Now, although Seymour's shape had changed, his appetite hadn't. So he welcomed the opportunity of digesting the Burple Fizzo, bottle and all.
Yeah, whoa, Seymour!
Too late, for what was once a prehistoric blimp was now a bucking bronco.
Hold on, Ragsy!
Quick, Garf, help me get this fireman's net out. Something tells me we may need it.
Indeed, Crusader had reason for great concern, because Seymour's meanderings were strictly a flight of fancy. Dudshade, on the other hand, prudent skipper that he was, knew when to abandon ship.
I'll say one thing. This sure is a fast-paced show.
Getting us anywhere.
Get mighty tired.
And I guess there's nothing else to do but wait till they drift down.
Well, anyway, it just solves one problem.
What's that?
Which one we had to catch first.
True, but there was another problem in the making of which they were completely unaware, namely the presence of their recently grounded nemesis, Doc Dudshade, and his down-to-earth partner in crime, Bilious Green.
Wind direction, north by south by east-west. Condition of sky, variable high cloudiness. There's a low front and a high back. Let me see now. Allow for flight drift. That's it. X marks the spot.
Now, offhand, one might suppose that these two nefarious characters had turned to weather forecasting. But it's always an ill wind that blows when Dudshade is calling the signals.
All right, Bilious. Bring it here.
Here it is, boss. But I'd still like to know what's inside.
This, Bilious, is Doc Dudshade's latest secret weapon.
And it's so secret, even I don't know what it is.
Take my word for it, Bilious, that operatic dinosaur is as good as ours.
Thus, a few moments later, a proud and dedicated Dudshade surveyed his diabolical invention.
But, boss, what is all this?
Bilious, you are now looking at the one and only complete do-it-yourself invasion kit.
Huh?
Don't you see? With this, we can set up a blockade, blockhead. And once that gastronomic dinosaur lands, I'll have him and his animal friends so thoroughly fenced in, it'll make Waterloo seem like a plumber's mistake.
And with that, the two ne'er-do-wells sneaked back into their hole to await the falling of night. Meanwhile, something else was falling. Yes, Rags and Junior were finally grounded.
That's what I call a perfect three-point landing.
Yeah, well, time for my nap.
Right. Let's all get some shut-eye, fellas.
Unfortunately, though, while our valiant heroes slumbered, there was dirty work afoot. Yes, true to his word, Doc Dudshade's invasion was on in full scale.
A little to the left, Bilious.
Right,
I said left.
right. I mean left, boss.
Uh-oh, looks as though Dud Shade is about to give our boys a rather loud good morning.
Yeah, look.
Huh? Hey, where'd that come from?
Closer inspection showed it to be an ultimatum.
Hey, listen to this. It's from Doc Dudshade. Surrender the dinosaur, or else. I, Dudshade, Commander-in-Chief, have you completely surrounded. Oh, that's ridiculous. How could he have us revived?
How indeed. One glance was all it took to prove the effectiveness of Dud Shade's do-it-yourself invasion kit. It was all too clear to our little hero that they were in desperate straits. Speaking of straits and flushes, more trouble is brewing back in Lukapu Junction. For time is running out on Rags' $420,000 IOU, and Easy Mooney is anything but composed.
Time's up. I gave that tiger and his rabbit friend just 48 hours to pay. Well, nobody welches on Easy Mooney.
So listen already. So where you gonna look for them?
I'll search every tiger's cage and rabbit hutch from here to Hoboken.
You want I should go with you, Easy?
No, you stay and watch the store. I'll either come back with the $420,000 they owe me or 2 animal trophies.
Why?
Back in no man's land, Crusader and his comrades are deeply involved in other matters, for Dud Shade is pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, hey, it's snowing.
Oh, these are propaganda leaflets, Rags. Look, give me the dinosaur, and I'll call the invasion off. Love, Dudshade.
To whom it concerns, up to now we get you with notes and telegrams. Now comes the heavy stuff.
Heavy stuff?
Yeah, I'm afraid he means bullets and bombs.
Yeah, not Doc Dudshade. Why, he wouldn't shoot at us. I'll hold a truce with him and talk it over. Yeah, all I can say is it's a good thing I don't have to blow my nose.
Yeah, but what I can't figure out is why Dudshade is so anxious to get Seymour.
Yeah, don't worry, Seymour. We'll protect you.
While our heroes are keeping their spirits high and their heads low, let's see what's going on in the enemy's camp.
I told you not to shoot. You might have hit the dinosaur.
I'm sorry, boss, but when I saw that hanky, I saw red.
You mean white, stupid. Look, all we gotta do is sit tight.
And sit tight they did until the day and Dud's patience began running out.
What gives with these dumb animals? They should be starving by now.
A shrewd calculation. Our boys were in need of nourishment, but what Dud Shade didn't count on was friend Dinosaur's appetite. Seymour's first thought upon awakening was to put something in his stomach. And he didn't care what.
Yeah, now I know why Doc wants Seymour.
Why?
Lease him out to the city as a king-size disposal unit.
But Dud Shade was occupied with other thoughts.
Egad, he's eating up our blockade.
Sure enough, in a matter of minutes, Dud Shade's blockade went down as the main course in Seymour's lunch.
That does it. I don't care what happens now. You may fire when ready, Bilious. Well, what are you waiting for, stupid?
Ah, but Bilious was no longer there, and in his place, armed to the teeth, stood Easy Mooney.
You seen a rabbit who welched on me?
Welched rabbit? I don't think so. The only hare in this vicinity has a tiger as his pal.
That's him. I got the tiger's IOU for $420,000, and I aim to collect.
That evil smirk on Dud Shade's leering face can mean but one thing. He has a plan.
I tell you, Mooney, that $420,000 is chicken feed. Those dumb animals over there have got a dinosaur that's worth millions.
Naturally, Easy was skeptical until he learned that Seymour sang. Dud Shade proposed that they not only trade the IOU for the dinosaur, but he offered Mooney a split right down the middle, 60-40.
How do I know you won't pull a fast one?
You can trust me. I've been swindling all my life.
It seemed like a money-making proposition to Mooney, so the partnership was formed. Meanwhile, our wee hero was deeply involved in the subject of dinosaurs.
Oh, wish I could figure out why Doc Dudshade wants Junior so badly. Unless...
Further speculation was cut short by the arrival of that new business firm, Dudshade and Mooney, swindlers at large.
I believe you're acquainted with my new partner, Easy Mooney.
Yeah, we sure are. How's card tricks, EZ?
I guess you come to collect the $420,000, huh?
Not necessarily.
Imagine Crusader's surprise to learn that the IOU would be theirs if they surrendered the dinosaur. It took our resourceful hero but a second to uncover the reason behind Dud's scheme.
And you want Seymour because he can sing?
That's it. Why, with proper handling, he can be a star. You can't stand in his way.
Well, okay, it's a deal.
Huh? Huh?
What's this? Is Crusader really going to sacrifice Seymour to this unscrupulous money-mad pair? But wait, that gleam in our tiny hero's eye.
Okay, now Seymour's yours.
All right, partner. Let's hear our dinosaur sing.
Yeah, and will you be surprised?
Me.
So that's the $1 million voice, eh?
Egad, that rabbit has outfoxed me again. Well, toodaloo.
And so as Dud's shade calmly sinks in the west, let us return to Galahad Glen, once more a thriving, prosperous community of homeowners, and to the hollow oak tree residence of our heroes Crusader and Rags.
You see, Rags, according to Who's Zoo, all dinosaurs are born with beautiful singing voices. But as soon as they're 2 days old, their voices change.
And that's why you agreed to trade Seymour for the IOU.
Right. I knew we were putting one over on old Doc Dudshade.
Congratulations, Crusader. Have an apple. Hey, where'd they go?
Same place our apple tree went. Look.
Yeah.